That shirt tastes good, buddy. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Stop it. Look how dirty you've already made that.
You guys want to go out? Come on, I need some enthusiasm. You want to go out?
Their tails are wagging, let them go out.
Oh. Alright, go ahead. Love you.
Love you.
Bye, monkey. Okay. Welcome back. It is day 2 of working with the ALF system. The weather is still miserable, so you're probably going to have to ignore the sound of raindrops hitting the roof of the garage. But we got some stuff to get done today. So, in yesterday's video, we did most of the wiring for the ALF setup. Managed to get the controller to come on and the system be set up. The only thing that I need to do now is the compressor wire so that it can fill the tank up, obviously. And then I need to do probably the hardest part of this install, the height sensors. Most people will just opt for the 3P system, which is a pressure-based system, because that's a lot easier. I went for the height sensor system because it's more efficient, and that's pretty much it. It's great for having the car at the exact same height all the time. This install is just going to be a little bit tricky. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, this video is brought to you by Bag Riders. It's not really. They didn't actually sponsor this video, but I love them and they help me out a lot, so I'm going to return the favor. If you guys need any airlift, AccuAir, any air suspension parts, replacement parts, fittings, airlines, wiring harnesses, anything, bags, struts, management, controllers, whatever. They have it all for pretty much every car ever in existence. So go hit them up, and maybe if I plug them enough, they'll give me a discount code to give for you guys. Comment below if you would like a discount code, because if there's enough support, we could definitely make that happen, and then that would be dope to like give you guys some money off when you buy these parts. But I don't even want to like fucking start doing this today, because I just know it's gonna be a bit of a struggle. So motivation is like right now. Let's just start doing shit. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do obviously is the compressor. I do not like wiring at all, but I think ALF makes it pretty easy for you. They supply everything you need. They have like the shrink butt things. I should find some wire cutters somewhere, trim this back, and then same on this, which I'll have to cut these ends off of this. And then once that is in there, I'm probably going to turn the system on. Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea to let the tank build up pressure just to make sure that everything works. Alright, those are connected. Now to add power, and hopefully the compressor turns on. Okay, so I had a slight issue. This was, for focus, this is like the valve that was on the bottom of the tank, the drain valve, and it has this like unscrew thing, and I don't actually know how this works exactly, but when I tightened it back up, the air was just coming straight out of this, so I'm going to assume that this is compromised and that it's not going to work again. I don't have anything else on me, and I actually don't know anywhere else that I can pick stuff up right now. I'd have to order stuff from Bag Riders, so for right now, we're just going to put this little piece in right here, which I stole off of here. So this is just like a solid cap. And that'll go on the bottom and basically just seal it for now. And then I'll order the actual one of those from Bag Riders and we'll switch it out. But for now, to make sure it works and the tank holds pressure and we can check for air leaks everywhere else, we'll just stick this in. Okay, that's in there. Let's try this again. It's building pressure, so that's good. Yeah, we'll air it up and check for leaks. Turn the car on so we don't drain the battery. I'm not sure when it's gonna stop. Oh, there you go. I was hoping for 150. We got to 149, and she stopped. Okay, so it's been like 2 minutes, and immediately there is a slight loss in pressure. It's at 146 now. Been like another minute or so, it's gone down to 145. So I'm gonna pull out the old spray some soapy water on all of the valves and just see if we can source this leak. And I have found the culprit. You probably can barely see it because the camera sucks, but blowing little bubbles just outside of the water trap. So I'm just going to tighten that a little bit more, and hopefully that solves the issue. Alright, I had to let all of the air pressure out and actually pull this off to be able to remove that completely, put more thread seal back on it, and then thread it back in there as tight as I can. So hopefully we'll turn this back on, let it get a little bit of pressure, and then check it again. Seems like that's fixed. Sprayed everything else down, haven't noticed any air bubbles, although the PSI is reading 147 and it stops at 149. So that may just be like the sensor reading off like when it stops the compressor. I'm not sure, but keep an eye on it and check it again in a little bit. So I guess the next thing to do would just be to send some air to the bags and just see that it works. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know why. Alright, let's do right rear first. Ooh. Oh, voltage too low. Probably means that the car should be on. I feel like that probably makes all the difference to the voltage. Let's let some air out of the right rear just to make sure that it does that good. Hell yeah. Perfect. Moving on from that, I've had a pretty serious issue that wasn't too big of a deal, but okay, if you guys watched the other video when I first got this car on the ground with these wheels and adjusted the front camber to add a little bit more, the spindle was rubbing on the bag, but it was only when the car was like pretty much aired out. And I've driven it to Gatlinburg and around Gatlinburg and then just like around town locally a couple of times. It's done some pretty severe rubbing on that bag. It's still fine, but I don't want to keep risking it. And now I know that I need to get shortened spindles. That would definitely help, but thing is, Simply Clean is less than a month away now, and I'm planning to drive this car 13 or 14 hours all the way down there. And if I get shortened spindles, that's going to throw the entire geometry of the front suspension off. And I may not even be able to get the same amount of camber right now without having to buy other shit like negative roll centers or something. So I don't want to do that just yet. I would rather do that over winter when I don't have to worry about driving the car anywhere for a while. So yeah, my thing is I definitely need to get adjustable top hats, which they don't really make them for this car because it's not a McPherson style strut where when you adjust the top hat at the top of the strut tower it pulls the camber in. That doesn't work on these. If you have adjustable top hats, it's purely for clearance, and the only company that really makes them is T-Demand, which is a very expensive company in Japan, and they make all sorts of awesome shit. So they're kind of hard to find, and occasionally they'll pop up used in the classifieds on the LS400 page. Unfortunately, right now, I can't find a single fucking person in the US that has a set, and I'm honestly struggling to find any on the auctions in Japan. I wanted to take this car to Southern Roots, which is a week from now, and right now it's looking like that's not going to happen. Until I get top hats, I really don't want to keep driving the car because I'm going to blow that fucking airbag up. I'm going to rub through it, and that is just, you don't want to do that. So I'm trying to weigh up other options right now, and I'm possibly thinking about buying 2 new front bags. They're not super expensive, but I want to get slim bags, like slim double bellows. That should give me a little bit more clearance, and they'll also probably ride a little better than these. Slim bellow bags are better because a smaller chamber means that it runs a little bit stiffer. So I'm thinking I'm maybe going to take a look at that. I'm going to do a little bit of research, asking around and see what I can do. Until some top hats pop up, I'm kind of stuck because right now it's just going to rub. And I could pull a little bit of the camber out, but then the fitment's not going to be the same. It's just like a balancing act, really. I plan to eventually go to slim double bellow bags anyway, so me just doing the front now is not going to be a big deal. And the rear honestly rides fine, because you don't run much pressure in the rear, but the front, it would be nice when I'm running higher pressures to have like a really stiff ride. That would be awesome. And I'm honestly not even sure if I'm going to get to the fucking height sensors today. I want to start taking a look at it and like trying to mock it up in the front at least, but I'm probably going to need some help to get it perfect. So yeah, that's a little frustrating, but it is what it is, and it's just kind of issues that you run into when working on a car and you're on like a little bit of a time schedule. But at least I do still have just over 3 weeks, so almost a month. So yeah, getting bags in time would not be too much of a stretch, just provided that the few companies that sell them have them in stock that will fit a D2 strut. So I'm going to ask around. I think AirTech makes some, so I already hit them up, see what they say. Okay, I guess we'll take a look at the sensors and see what we can figure out. These are obviously it. This is all it is. It's just this on a little thing. It has like a certain range of motion, and yeah, it just has like a rod that attaches, and you attach it to a control arm or whatever. So the rods, the nice thing is, that's all that it is just you have that rubber casing piece, and then this is just a threaded piece, and there's two ends. So this can easily be cut and shortened however you'd like, and that just makes it super easy, really. So I mentioned in yesterday's video that I thought that it would be a little bit easier on this because this car has factory headlight leveling, which is what you can see here. There's a mounting point down the bottom on the control arm, and then this up here, and it looks pretty much the same as the airlift sensors. So my thought is that I'm literally going to pull this out and just replace it with the airlift one, because I have new headlights coming anyway that are not going to use the headlight leveling. So it's redundant at that point, so may as well optimize the factory location. So there is the factory headlight leveling pulled out. As you can see, it was just that on there, this attached to the control arm. Essentially the same system as this, pretty much. Alright, I'm just holding it in place right now, and it's just finger tight on both ends, but as you can see, use the same location. It's obviously a little bit higher because this rod is longer. Right now I have it kind of angled downwards because obviously we're at the lowest possible height. Not lowest, sorry, this would be the highest, but the sensor needs to be set lowest so that it has enough travel to go upwards. And I would maybe even go as far as just do that. But they have measurement tools where you can measure how much degrees the sensor actually has and compare it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to find something to just hold this in place for the time being, like stick it there, and then we're going to jack it up and just see what the travel looks like. Okay, we're at around the mid-level range right now, and as you can see, this is pretty much sitting flat, which is what you want. It doesn't have any interference. Looks like it's pretty good. And here we are right at the very top of the range. Looks pretty good. Okay, so yesterday I did end up giving up on installing the height sensors for now. Reason for giving up was I just tried for like 2 hours to try and get this self-tapper into the side of the fender wall, and it was not having it. Probably just need to drill like a pilot hole or something, which I was thinking I should probably do, but then I thought about it a little more, and I'm considering buying new bags. I have researched them a little bit. They're only 4 inches, and I measured my current triple bellows that are in the front. They're 6 inches at maximum height, and then like fully compressed, they're like 3.5 inches. So I'm a little bit worried that I may not have as much lift as I want. Hopefully I'll have a good amount of adjustability. I'm not really sure, but I'm thinking that that's the direction I'm going to go for me to be able to get this clearance for right now, at least until I shorten the spindles. And it's really not a bad idea considering I have been rubbing on this bag and I'd rather just be safe and replace them. But there is no point in me doing the sensors in the front right now because if I end up getting these bags and it completely changes it, the sensor's going to be off and I may have to remount it. So it probably makes sense that if I have to tear this thing apart again in, you know, a week or two to do the bags, I may as well do the height sensors then. So I'm thinking right now I'm just going to button up the car, put it back together. I know that the air works right now, so yeah, just gonna put it back together. We're gonna get it on the ground and then we'll run the calibration system for the pressure based, and I guess for right now we'll just run 3P. I want to drive it around just a little bit to make sure that everything's okay with it, check for leaks, etc. Make sure all the wiring is good, we don't have any issues, we don't blow fuses. So yeah, we're just going to do that and yeah, basically just wrap up the video by showing you guys the process of, I don't even know how it fucking works. We'll get to it when it happens. The car is on the ground. It's up super fucking high right now, but we're going to go and figure out the menu system on the 3P. Well, set it to a pressure setting first, it's in manual mode now, and then I guess let it do its thing with configuring. I really don't know how it works, so I'm gonna look through the menu and see what we can figure out. Alright, so it turns out that this shit's super easy to navigate. Changed my tank PSI up to 170, so I just reached that, and then I just hit start on the recalibrate your system. So, is the vehicle on a level surface? Yes. Are front wheels straight? Yes. Is vehicle and all wheels free of obstructions? Yes. Is your manifold mounted? Yes. Do you have 1 or 2 compressors? 1. Calibrate pressure manual or auto. We'll do auto for now, see what it does. Do you have height sensors? No, not right now. Vehicle will now move. Are you ready? Alright, I'm scared. Yes. I feel like I should get out and show this because it's kind of cool. Dope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure auto pressure is not going to do its job right because I need a lot of pressure to raise the front. Like the front doesn't even raise until like 70 psi, so I don't think auto is going to work all that well. But the rear, if it is going to do anything with the rear. If you're wondering what the creaking is, it's, I'm pretty sure it's my sway bar end links. I replaced one side, and they're, for some reason, shitty and creaky. I'm going to buy some adjustable ones when I can. Give me. I can't throw it if you don't give it to me. Why do you do this? Calibration successful. System is ready to use. Okay. Let's try the high preset. 115 and 75. How the fuck is the front so far off? Okay, so now I actually raised the front up, but that's like my high height, which is fine. But why did it take so long to get there? Okay, I want to see what happens now if I hit it to go to my normal ride height. What is it gonna do? It should just drop right down, but like, yeah, 95, 65. Ready? Spot on. Not well. A little bit of adjusting. Okay, I resaved it, so now I'm 160. So 100 in the front, 60 in the rear. If I air out, the air out is now like fast as fuck. That's crazy. Okay. So now I want to see what it does if I hit the drive height button. Front went up a little bit. Damn, dude. Now it's just gonna go up like a little bit at a time. If you guys have been around for a while, this is the same issue that Brian used to run into on the CTS V-Wagon. Every time he would hit, you know, the preset ride height, it would literally run out of air on the way up and turn the compressor on. It's not that it runs out of air, it's that the compressor turns on 15 psi below the threshold, which is 170. So of course it's gonna go 15 psi lower than that, but it turns on immediately and that drains too much power and then it like won't air up fast enough. So I don't know if there is a way to go into the system and tell it, hey, don't turn the compressor on until 30 psi lower than the threshold, because then it would actually give the car enough air to raise up and then the compressor can come on afterwards. I don't know, but I gotta mess with it a little bit because that's not, I can't deal with that. The whole point of this was that I hit the button and it goes up, we're all good. I don't want to deal with it like hit the button, air up a little bit, wait, then air up. Can't deal with that. I just did a little bit of research and there is absolutely no way to change this. And apparently LF doesn't plan to change it. The compressor will just switch on 15 psi below the threshold, which is frustrating. But that now means that I definitely need to buy another tank, because clearly I don't have enough air across my single tank to lift the car up fast enough. So definitely need to get another tank, and then another compressor would really help too. So I may end up doing that sooner than I thought. Who knows? But hopefully this works for the time being. It's just really frustrating. Let's try it one more time and see what it does. So if I go air out, if I hit the drive height button, hopefully it just does it in like one smooth sweep, which is what I want it to do. I think it did it that time, actually. The rear lifts up first, which is really annoying. The rear looks good. Where's the front now? That looks good enough. But I mean, I guess it works. Definitely would make more sense if it didn't fucking kick the compressor on immediately. So my actual plan with this trunk is to have like a piece of wood that's fit into the bottom perfectly and lays lower than this one. This flat piece actually sits a little too high. And then get a second one of these tanks. I believe that this is a 5-gallon tank. It may, oh no, I'm not even sure to be honest, but it's not 2.5, it's bigger than that. But basically I want to get the exact same tank and put one either side, have the manifold in the middle and then like the compressors in the middle or whatever, and fit all of it underneath this floor and really just tidy it up a little bit and then put the carpet back over the top and you won't be able to see it. But clearly height sensors will work better because they will bring the car to an exact height increment as opposed to a pressure. Pressure is going to read differently. If there's more weight in the car, it's going to read at higher pressure because there's more weight, and then it's going to lower it in theory. So yes, the height sensors are going to work so much better. And I guess I'm going to pull this thing out, take it for a quick little drive, make sure that everything is good. But I'm going to end off this video here. There's not really any need for me to keep, you know, you're not going to see anything with me taking it for a test drive really. So yeah, I'm going to end off the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry that it was a little bit of a mess. I didn't end up doing what I intended to do, but you'll learn with me when I'm working on this thing. I'm kind of just like doing it bit by bit and then working up to like I'll do the things that need to be done and then come back and perfect them afterwards. I'm a little slow, but it's whatever. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.